Oh, hello there. Yes, hurtling our way through the week and the summer. Yes, shooby do what wah wah indeedy. Today once again, I just want to sort of raise the spectre, not of communism perhaps, but of a form of communism maybe. The media treatment of certain individuals and the way that certain people with a ideological bent, shall we say, or a particular axe to grind, will completely ignore notions of reality. And in notions of reality, we must, of course, be discussing a transgender issue, obviously. Almut Gadow is somebody who was sacked a while ago after 10 years of working with the Open University. And earlier this week, she was sort of all over the media, being given a platform. You can have a look at this stuff. There are links below. It's another one of those things whereby I sit and I stare at these things and I scratch my head. We'll talk about that briefly, but I also then want to move on to other people's reactions to these kind of cases and the kind of way that they will leave any form of logic at the doorstep and then construct their own reality. Anyway, yes, she was sacked by the Open University and is now going to appeal. So far, so good. But she was basically platformed by the press and on GB News, Talk TV, the usual very, very sympathetic questioning by Julia Hartley-Brewer. Oh, tell me where the bad man hurt you. It's all that kind of incisive stuff. So we end up with GB News. At Woke University, sacks lecturer for refusing to, quotes, indoctrinate students with trans policy. Yes, indeed. However, once again, I always say, well, how come these people, who presumably were members of a trade union, I'd be very surprised if someone who was a OU lecturer for 10 years and weren't a member of a trade union. Simply because whenever you get yourselves into trouble in academic circles, you kind of need a union to be there to back you up. And nothing. There is no mention of a union at all. She may well not have been a member of a union, in which case you have to sort of think to yourself, well, that's a bit daft. Oh, she's got the free speech union. Of course she has. They're going to pay all her legal costs. But when you look at some of these pieces, like in the Telegraph and the Mail, you dig out these kind of nuggets. I'm just going to quote from the Mail, first of all. The only Open University has vowed to vigorously defend itself against Gadow's charges. It added, given these ongoing legal proceedings, we do not intend to comment further at this time. Suffice to say, we strongly dispute the account which we understand Almut Gadow to have given to the media about the circumstances of and reasons for her dismissal, the university's criminal law curriculum and modules, and its EDI policies. Indeed, you see, it's an ongoing case. So why is it that this woman with an ongoing case is being platformed that way? You wouldn't think somebody else with a legal proceedings would simply be given a free platform before the legal proceedings. That's slightly strange. And again, no mention in the piece about a union defending her, because if she had been wrongly sacked, then a union would jump up and down all over it. And we never hear any cases of that happening. We'll come back to why that might be in a bit. That decision, according to the Telegraph, was upheld at an appeal hearing chaired by an independent and senior barrister in March 2023. We can also confirm that Almut Gadow has brought employment tribunal proceedings against the OU, which we will vigorously defend. Yes, says the OU. So she's already appealed the decision and it's been turned down by an independent barrister. So it's odd. A union not taking up case. 2 previous hearings been thrown out, but here she is back once again, pleading her case. Now, recently I put up a video showing Graham Linehan in a less than positive light, and some of the comments I get there are intriguing because it's in my way of thinking, it's intriguing the way that people construct a reality around what they want to be true, and it very rapidly moves on to it's a conspiracy level, right? Graham Linehan is given any platform that he wants in the same way that Almut has been. Yeah, he can rock up anywhere, pretty much anywhere, and be given a free ride. I think that's what he was expecting with Talk TV, not the BBC or other places, because they'll ask awkward questions. And Almut again doesn't go on any other media. And people say, well, why hasn't she gone on any other media? It's a conspiracy. No, it isn't. It isn't a story. It'll be a story, maybe, as and when her court case goes to court. Then it's a story, but you can't expect the BBC to be commenting or giving a free platform to somebody who's going to law. That's not the way it works. And the same people will argue, oh, well, the reason why she lost was because it's all a stitch-up. Right, so presumably we then move into the kind of lefty lawyer stage, yes? All the lefty lawyers are going to turn her down. Well, okay, then fine. So she's going to court about it. Oh, yes, she has to go to court because it's an important point of principle. Right, so some courts aren't ruled by lefty lawyers, the ones that the Free Speech Union are going to use, but the other ones are. And again, you end up with this construction of reality. Oh, she's been silenced, they will say. Really, because she's all over my media feed. I would never have heard of her otherwise. And it's strange that, once again, all of these kind of things you have to construct in your head about the way that she's been badly treated, when all I can see with these people is they are treated with absolute kid gloves. And even afterwards, when they lose their cases, and I can think of one or two really exceptional ones to that, they will still end up on our screens. People that have magically won things that they didn't. Because that's the reality. People want there to be a certain reality whereby certain lawyers will cast you down, and because somebody isn't given a free platform to spout whatever they want on the BBC, it just proves that the communists have taken over. It's a very odd world. It is a very odd world. One that believes that unions aren't interested in their members. It's just very, very, very strange. But if you have to construct those realities in your head, then it doesn't really matter, does it? Because that's the world you want to live in. And, you can by all means sort of like agitate in and around laws which will protect a certain point of view, should we say. But the problem is with those laws is that in a democracy they have to be applied freely to all people. At which point others will scream blue murder that the same rules are being applied. So, what do you want? The same rules, or do you want not same rules? And the answer probably is going to be not same rules. Okay then, but forget about living in democracy. You will simply live in a dictatorship where you're not allowed to believe certain things, or indeed say them, which brings us neatly back to the central conceit. Oh, these people aren't allowed to hold those beliefs. Yes, they are, but they have to live with the consequences. That's what adults do. Anyway, do have a lovely Thursday. Enjoy.